So coming to the previous topic, so created an advanced agent. So in advanced agent, what happens means based on the interval given. So what is the interval that is quick or whatever recurring it is. So based on the interval, agent will call the agent. So it depends only on the interval base. What interval different. So based on interval, it is going to with the agent and it will be executing agent activity. So generally, when we will prefer this advanced agent means if it is a one-time task like a suppose if you want to send bulk email or bulk SMS or some kind of thing like a bulk notifications at a time if you want to send. So in such case, go for the advanced agents. Like simply saying if it is a one-time task or something, we can go for the advanced agent. Suppose same thing if you want to do for multiple records like every time if you want to execute per record execution if you want to perform, then we need to go for the standard agents. But in standard agents, apart from the same steps, some additional business logic we need to configure. So what is that business logic we'll be additionally going to configure, that we'll understand now. So coming to standard agent, okay, I'm going to use some activity. So what are the activity I created in the last session? See, same activities again in two different agents. I cannot use the same activity. The same activity name I cannot use in two different agent rules. So what I need to do means that thing is if you want to create a second agent or third agent, I cannot open a new rule. I cannot open in the existing agent rule only. I can add more steps I can define. So what are the agent I defined in the previous session? I need to open the previous agent only. So because implementation or per access group, mainly per access group only, one agent rule only I can define. Okay, if I want to add more rules in the application, more agent rules if I want to define in the same instance, I need to add more agent numbers like add a new agent and we need to define the new agent type. Okay, so we cannot create a, again from sysadmin category I cannot open a new one. So from existing one only I need to open and add a new agent. So before that, activity steps are same. What I'm going to do means open previous activity. And I'm using save as option because one activity in two agents I cannot use. So use save as option and update name of activity because one activity we cannot use in two different agents. Same activity we cannot use even though steps are also. So use save as option and update the name. I'm giving as one and open this. Okay, save this agent, save this activity. Now, once we open this agent tool, so initially steps are same, but again some additional business logic we need to configure when adding these standard agents. One second. Okay, if you want, here also I'm giving some interval. Actually, in standard agent, it will not bother about the interval. See, interval you can just give it as startup. Okay, so in standard agents, anything you can give, no issue apart from the recurring option. See, recurring also is not required in the standard agent. So mostly we can go for the startup or In periodic, you can just choose this basic interval like 1 second or 5 seconds you can choose. Already by default mode will be standard, and choose the okay category, that's your wish, optional category, but make sure you enable the agent. Without, if you don't enable this option, so agent will not be started. So enable the agent and provide the class option. So where activity is there, so provide the class name. Now provide agent, this activity name we have to provide. Now save this agent. Okay, so after, actually here in standard agents, no need to bother about the interval. Either you startup or periodic, give the minimum interval second you can give. And one advanced setting you'll be having under standard agents. So you have to enable auto queue management. Actually, mostly we'll process multiple records one after another. So when processing multiple records, make sure so enable this auto queue management. I'll discuss again about this in the next steps. So enable this checkbox, and already in the security access group is available. So save it, and this also it will be taking few minutes to sync on the server. And where you can identify whether it is standard agent is running or not, how to identify means, so inside the agent schedule will be there, right? So if you open agent schedule, so you'll get the updated name, that is the new name will be getting the new agent name which is created just now. So it will, if it is showing the new agent name in the agent schedule, so your agent is started and running. Okay. Meanwhile, so to open agent schedule, I told we can open from Records Explorer. So to conclude when it is whether it is started or not, if want to identify, go to sysadmin. Okay, keep it open because it will take some time. And meanwhile, this standard agent is not completed. In order to configure standard agent, some additional steps I need to configure. That is the what I'm going to do now. See, generally in case of these standard agents, so we need to configure something called queue items we have to add to the queue table. See, when we work on the standard agents, we'll be having something called queue table in the rule base. Okay, so pr underscore sys underscore queue, some queue table will be having. So any standard agents are when processing standard agents. So how many records you process, every record we need to assign to the queue table. So then only it is going to, if queue item is added to the queue table, then only agent will wake up and process the agent activity. That is, it will execute the agent activity. But coming to advanced agents, it will not bother about the queue items or queue table. It will only bother about the interval given. But in case of standard agents, interval is just optional. If you don't give an interval also, just if you give startup also, it's okay. But it will only bother about the, if how many users are processing and how many records they are processing by the user. How many records, suppose 10 records are there, means 10 queue items will be added to the queue table, and then 10 times it is going to execute activity. So here only based on the number of records it is going to wake up and execute activity. But in advanced agent, based on interval given, it is going to wake up and execute the activity. Suppose here one like a interval is given for every 5 minutes. 5 minutes means we need to convert into seconds and we need to enter. If 5 minutes is given, for every 5 minutes it is going to wake up the advanced agent. But here even 1 second is given, it will not wake up the agent if 1 second interval is there also. It will only wake up if any records is available. So whenever there is a record, so then particular record will add it to the queue table, like a queue item will be calling. Queue item will be added to the queue table. Then only agent will wake up and then only it will execute agent activity. So in differences I'll tell you. So here advanced agents no need to bother about the queue table, but in standard agents, so only when queue items are added to the queue table, then only it will wake up the agent and execute the agent activity. Okay. So let's see how to add that queue items to the queue table. So first I open the previous activity, use save as option. Here I actually in the Yeah, same. I think save as optional I used here also. Maybe activity name is different. So then in the agent rule, you have to add a new name. Then you have to process. Okay, intervals may be different from video and document. No need to bother. No need to bother about the interval here. Any interval if you give, it will only depend upon agent will wake up only depend upon the queue items which are added to the table. Then after this, save this, and it will take some time to sync on the server. When syncing is completed, inside the agent schedule, the agent standard agent name also will be updated. Maybe once check in the schedule by using this refresh option. Okay, still not created, don't worry. So meanwhile I'll be working on the next step. See, now I told, right? So you'll be having one table called pr underscore sys underscore queues, and whenever we work on any standard agent example, so we need to add a this queue item. If you want to add to the queue tables, Pega contains one predefined activity. So inside that activity, we need to use instruction and we need to fill the parameters in this activity. So let's see. So add one activity. In previous versions, like up to 7.2 or 7.3, 7.4 also up to, we will also have a method also is there. Okay, so same with the same name, method is there and API is there, but method is not a best practice, right? They deprecated that method. That is queue for agent method is also available in previous versions, but they deleted that method in the 8 versions. So use this instruction and go to more. So in this we need to fill the rule set name and your agent name. So rule set name is your division name will be similar to your rule set name, so directly you can copy your division name. And coming to agent name, maybe in your system if it is different means copy it accordingly. So this is the agent name I have given in my application. So in your system what is the name given, so copy paste that one accordingly. Now save this activity. So like that. So first of all, in this activity, so we'll be using that API and fill the parameters in that API. See now, actually in the real time for which UI design you're executing this action, you're performing this action. So there you need to call this activity. Okay, suppose in the real time wherever you perform this action for which UI design, mostly in the flaction rule we are going to apply this scenario. Okay, in your system you can open any flaction and apply this. So here I'm going to open customer flaction. Okay, it is in version 1, so you save as option. Go to action tab. So in post processing you can give. Okay, so like that in real time. Okay, maybe already one rule is there. So actually I'm removing that now. I'm going to call this one. Maybe sometimes in personal it will not means execute properly. Don't worry. So just to give the activity I'm giving in customer design, like that in the real time for which UI design you're going to perform this action. So there you can provide in the flaction rule. And next step is, okay, here I want to show you some logs inside the rule base, but in personal edition it will not work properly. So this API up to 7.4 and 8.1 it work properly, but in this version notifications are not working in personal edition, right? So but I'll show you how in exactly in previous version it is going to work. Like in real time it is going to work based on some logs I'm going to show you. See, in your rule base, you'll be having one table called pr underscore sys underscore queues. See, whenever they execute any process like a flow, when they execute, what happens means, see, if you process one record, one item will be added to the table, and when it is added, some status will be generating like a schedule now processing. Suppose if any issue is there with the activity rule, so it will perform some act, like it will show throw the status as failed. Okay, like failed means nothing but broken process. Three status will be generating. Suppose if success means the item will be removed from the queue table. So initially, when the item is added to the table, the status will be scheduled. Just remember this. They may ask you different status you'll be getting in the queue table. Explain them, they may ask you. So initial status will be scheduled, and immediately within fraction of seconds you'll be, if no processing means it is going to start executing the activity rule. And after executing activity, if all the activity steps are correct means it will be success. Actually it will not, when success means queue item will be removed from the queue table after processing is done. Queue item will be removed from the queue table if it is success. Suppose if fail means, suppose in the activity steps if there is any problem is there means, you will be getting the status as broken process. Okay, so initially Pega already contain one default item will be there, but any user defined items, any user defined rules are executed or user defined items are executed, so one item will be added and you can see the status as scheduled initially, and after that it will show the status as immediately within fraction of seconds until you, if you check, it will be there as no process. Because but everyone cannot see this in personal edition. I cannot show guys, these are the screens from 7.4 version. So now processing you'll be getting, and immediately if everything is fine means it will remove the item from the queue table. But if any issue is there in activity steps, like if any email id password is not matching or any other parameters are given wrong, so then in that case it may show the status as broken process. Okay, so initially it will show the schedule now processing, and if any processing means any activity steps are wrong or there means it will show the status as broken process. But if it is not showing broken process means, then it will be queue item will be removed from the queue table after executing activity, then it is successfully completed the execution. So like that, every time it will not be broken process. Maximum if once it is success means always it will be success only guys. Okay, initially if any activity steps are wrong is there means, then only it will show broken process. But if a processing is successful once means always it will be successful. Okay, so but in the background these are the logs will be created when you're using the standard agents. So standard agents will wake up only if any queue items are added to the queue table, then only it will wake up and execute the agent activity. If there are no queue items added, that is if this API is not executed, queue for agent API activity is not executed means, then it will not add any queue items to the queue table. So now what happens means when you're using these standard agents, see generally in case of standard agents and advanced agent, the main thing is, see when processing any advanced, suppose if you want to perform same thing using advanced agents, what happens means, if any processing failed in between due to any issue, any server issue or any other issue, so the processing will stop. Suppose if you try to process some 100 policies one after another in case of advanced agent by using advanced agent, if any processing failed if at any record, it will not continue with the other records. Okay, it will stop there itself. So until till then how many records are done, only it will complete those, and if any remaining records are there, it will not complete. But in standard agents, if any record failed also, it will keep the tested and proceed with the remaining records in the queue. So that's why any multiple processing or multiple records if want to process, so generally we'll go for the standard agents. If it is a one time task and all, we can go for the advanced agents. And what is auto queue management, what it will do means, so it will help, it is only responsible for executing the agent activity. Okay, so that is responsible for executing the agent activity. So compulsory when working on standard agents, so we have to enable the auto queue management. And some other differences if they ask you between standard and advanced agents, see in standard agents how many queue items are there, at number of times it is going to execute the activity. But in advanced agents, per interval. Based on the interval given, it depends only on the interval. So based on the interval given, it will, after the interval is completed, it will wake up and execute the agent activity. And these come under transactional processing, because we'll be calling these in this activities and all we are calling in the flaction we are calling. So in flaction, if you call any activity, it come under transactional processing. So here these things we don't call anywhere, in only in agent only we'll be calling. So these come under non-transactional processing. And standard agents will work on multi-node environment, but advanced agent will work on only single node at a time, only on one node environment only. So these advanced agents will work. And here compulsory auto queue management is required in standard agents, and no need to define any auto queue management. That parameter also will not be there in advanced agents. Okay? And here when queue items are there, then only the agent will wake up and execute activity. Otherwise, if suppose there are no records processing is there, always it will be there in sleep mode. Suppose there are no records for 5 hours or 10 hours, then it will be there in sleep mode. But agent, advanced agent will never be in sleep mode. Whatever the interval given, suppose 1 hour is interval, compulsory for each every 1 hour it is going to wake up and execute the activity. Okay. But in standard agents, if any queue items are there, then only the agent will wake up and execute the agent activity. Otherwise, it will be there in the sleep mode. Okay. So like that, what is your requirement, accordingly you have to configure them. And basically in agent modes or types, there are three categories. Legacy is deprecated before 5 version, like up to 5 version only. This initially first 1 2 versions only they use it is legacy. But Pega contains some predefined agents are there which are there in legacy mode. But any user defined agents we create, either we will go for advanced or standard only will go. And this I told you, right, auto queue management, this is only responsible for instructing your activity. So that is, it will only instruct your agent to execute the associated activity which is given. Okay. And I told the status, about the status I told, right. So schedule, what are the queue table status are? So schedule, no processing and broken process. Scheduled is initial one, and after starting execution, activity execution, then it will start this now processing. And after the execution, if there is anything went wrong, then it will give the status as broken process. If not, everything is fine, means it is nothing but it will remove the item from the queue table. Okay, only these things will happen when using the standard agents. So like that, just go through these points differences, you will just know when to use standard and advanced agents. So basically, if it is a one time task, means go for advanced agents. If it is repetitive, like for multi-processing if you want to perform, then go for the standard agents. Okay. So like that, agents and all, whenever we configure any notifications, so based on the requirement and based on the recurring or periodic or startup, so we need to choose them and apply those intervals and actions we have to apply. And the next one is a small topic called skimming we are going to do. But the thing is, in real time skimming, every developer will not perform. Some lead architect will be performing, but in interviews they may ask you this process whether you do it or you don't do it in the real time. So they may ask you some questions on this skimming, so that's why we are discussing this topic. But basically every developer will not do this thing in the real time. Any one senior developer or lead architect will be working on this. See, basically in the previous classes, if you remember, so whenever I want to add a new version for the rule set, the increment is done based on patch. Actually, only one new version I added in the application. So that if I want to check, go to this application menu. See, we have these three numbers, right? 01, 01, 01. So when the new version is added, so for the rule, so last time we incremented based on the patch version. That is, the third number is nothing but patch number. So based on the patch number, the increment is done. See, what is skimming means, if they want to increment the major number or minor number, so then some skimming wizard will be there. Suppose if they want to increment the first number or second number, so then they need to go for the skimming option. What is skimming means? So like if you want to duplicate any duplicate rules which we have in multiple versions, if you want to erase all the duplicates, and all the rules if want to, all the latest version rules if want to move to one new highest version. So that process is called as skimming. In this major skimming, first number if you are going to increment, it is called as major skimming. And second number, suppose for this if you are doing the major skimming, so 0 to 0 1 0 2 like that we can give. And if you are doing the minor skimming, so we can give like 0 1 0 2 0 2 or 0 1 also you can put. Okay, so if you want to do the major or minor in the real time, they are going to decide whether to do it a minor skimming or major skimming. Okay, see, if minor skimming is done means the second number will be incremented. If major skimming is done means the first number gets incremented. But what happens in the skimming process in the backend means, see, in the real time when you're working in application, so you may have some multiple versions can be there, like 0 1 0 1 0 1 up to 0 1 0 1 30 also you can have. So in that case, see, whenever we are going to customize the rule, sometimes from one version 1 to version 10 we can move, version 1 to version 20 we can move whenever we are updating, again from version 20 to 25 you can move. So in that case, sometimes few rules can be there in more than one version, but automatically any rule if you are using, it will only pick the latest version rule only it is going to pick, right? So that is, we have many multiple duplicate rules will be there in the application. Example, if a rule age is there in three versions, so then in that case, this latest version rule only we are going to access in application anywhere. Then these two will be duplicate rules. So whenever we take a backup, actually before packaging, in the starting classes I discussed about packaging process, right? So before we do this packaging process, so we can do this skimming process. So what this skimming will do is, it will remove all the duplicate version rules, and what are the main numbers, main rules are there, main versions are there. So for that it will take the that particular main version rules or latest version rules which are there. So all the rules will be moved to one new highest version it is going to move, whether whatever the skimming we perform, major or minor, that will happen automatically in the backend. Maybe in some 8.4 I'm not sure, in personal edition I don't know it is working, but partial it is working. Okay, I will show you how to do that. So but in the real time we are not going to do. So whether major or minor, just you have to choose option as major or minor, and everything it will happen in the backend. Okay, but in the real time when you're working, so there is one option called bulk check-in. Okay, so before doing the skimming, if any checked out records are there, for example if rule set security is enabled, okay, there may be some checked out check-in records will be there. Without check-in, there will be some checked out records will be there. So if any checked out records are there, how to do bulk check-in also I want to show you. See, generally the bulk check-in option if you want to do in the private menu, as of now there are no records, but I will try to create one or two records. For that I'm going to enable this security. Not mandatory, but you must know if any checked out records are there, how to do that. Try to open any rule from lower version and try to move to new version, like that. At least one two rules I'm going to create. So this is in latest only. So open any rule from any lower version, like in version 1 we have some rules, right? Any rule it can be. Okay, so this is in version 1, so use save as. I'm just saving, but I'm not going to check in this one. Like that, do it for any one other two rules. Any one or two more rules also do the same thing. Actually, I just want to show you how to do the bulk check-in process. So if any checked out records are there, how to do the bulk check-in I want to show you. Actually, records, checked out records are there. See, if any checked out records are there means, what happens means, it will not allow you to lock your version. So now go back to, I'm closing all the tabs and again I'll open these application definition, rule set form. See, in my application now, two records, checked out records are there. Once go to application menu, definition. So open this. Actually, see, before skimming, if we can log the version. We have to log the version. See, but if you try to log the version, see, there are two checked out records are there, right? So if you try to log this version, you'll be getting some message that so the version cannot be logged because it has some checked out records. So if you have any checked out records, how to do that? Suppose initially we cannot check which record is checked out record is there. You cannot check each record from here. You cannot open and check, right? So when thousands of records are there, so which record is checked out record if you want to know, you cannot check out from the list category. You cannot check. Suppose if you click on here, number two, if you click two numbers, two checked out records are there, right? Suppose if you want to know which records are checked out records, click on that number so that you will be getting to know what are the checked out records are there. One is data transform rule, other one is field value rule. So these two records are checked out records. So one way is manually we can open each record from here. Okay, these two names we come to know, right? These two are checked out records. So open each record from here list and you can do. Suppose in your application some 100 records checked out records are there, or some 30 checked out records are there. What to do means there is one wizard without doing this check in individually. So there is one wizard option is available. That is, if you go to this private menu, so any checked out records are there, you can see again all the checked out records list you can see here, and directly we can do bulk check-in we can do. So what is bulk check-in means at a time all the records we can do check-in. Okay, so if you click on these bulk actions, so here we are knowing how to do bulk check-in. So like that in my application just two records checked out records are there. So what we need to do, select all and add some bulk prefix. See, whenever we check in previously, I told you we need to give some prefix. So I'm giving a bulk prefix at a time. Suppose when 100 records are there, we can directly add a bulk prefix without adding for each one separately. So after you insert, so you can see here, click on check in. Next to that start button is there. Already check in option is chosen, and here you need to click on the start button. So once you click on start, the check-in will happen automatically, and once the status is showing as completed, now we can close the widget. Now again, if you check, you cannot see any checked out records. So, but this form which is already open, refresh this one. So if the form is already open, refresh that one. Okay. So now what we can do means we can now log this version. I'm going to log this version. Click on lock and save. I'm giving password as rules. So before skimming, you can log the version. So now let's see how to perform that skimming. Okay. So if you do the skimming, any rules which are there in both the versions, it will move to the new version. It is going to move. Whatever you do, major if you do, so major first number gets incremented. Minor if you're doing, the second number gets incremented. So now let's see how to open that widget. So go to configure menu. In order to open that skimming widget, see, only thing is just fill the parameter. Just automatically skimming will happen for each and every rule in the application. So for that, go to system operations, okay, sorry, refactor, rule sets. So here you'll get some widgets. See, in the future, any rule set if they want to delete, or there will be something called branching. Any branching if want to do, or if want to rule base if want to compare. Actually, these not your task anyway, but these are some options you'll be getting in this. So for skimming also there is a link is there. If you click on this, it will open some widget will open. So click on skimming rules. Okay, major if want to do, they'll be choosing major, and minor version if want to increment, they need to choose minor. So then now the starting version and ending version is given. Now what is the new version we can give is 01, 02, 01 I can give. Okay, I can give the, so the second number will be incremented. So based on the previous version. So minor I'm doing right. So minor version earlier is 01. Now you can give it as 02, 01. Okay? And now click on skim option. Maybe it may not show the process here sometimes. So after a few seconds, just to close this. Okay, some in the rule set form, some new version will be created. Actually in the present version, I don't know why it is not showing the status. In previous version, if you check the screenshot, actually in 8.1 also, if you check the screenshot after the, during the skimming is completed, or during skimming and all, it will show the status also. It showed in real time also, it will show you. But I don't know in the present version, in the personal edition, actually like this it will show after the process is completed. It will show the time and how many records has been processed and all, it will show you. But I don't know in the present version, it is not showing. So don't worry, if it is completing means okay, no issue. But in some versions, in some systems, if it is not showing means don't worry, ignore that one. But in the back end it will be generated. Okay, in my system it is showing now. But in any case, in your systems, if it is not showing any status and if it is stuck means don't worry, skimming will be completed. But directly you can close if it is after so much time also, if it is not responding anything means close and check it in the rule set form. Okay, if it is successfully completing means no issue. But in sometimes in some systems they are getting some issue. Some students discussed with me. So if you get any issue regarding this when creating this skimming process, don't worry, just close and try once again. Okay. Okay, in my system successfully it is showing as completed. Now if you open your rule set form now, already it is open, right? But refresh once. Okay, already the page is open. Refresh once. So now you can see one new skimmed version, you can see with the number 010201 and all the rules which are there in this one and this one. See, actually if you see the count here, 150 plus 67, it will be more than like a 217 or something. But common rules, skimmed rules and all, some 16 to 17 skimmed rules are there. It will erase the duplicates and only create the final count as 201. Okay, so like that, what skimming will do is any duplicate rules are there, it is going to erase them, and all the main version rules which are there, it will be moving to some new skimmed version. Okay, that will happen automatically for each and every rule. It is going to check and verify in the backend. But after the skimming is completed, one additional thing we have to perform is, now if you try to create any rule in application, now when you try to open any rule in application, it will directly show the version number as not your version. But see what version it is showing, just see, it will show a different rule set and different version. Okay, the reason is some additional changes we have to do after the skimming is completed. See, now it is not showing your version and not your rule set, and your version it is not showing. Okay, so if you want to show your rule set and your version in the definition form, in the rules, in the main application definition form, if you observe here, see, whenever any skimming is done, compulsory the prefix number will be updated. See, this time the prefix number by default it will be 0101, but according to the skimming process here, it should be changed to 0102. Again, if you do the some other time, if you do the skimming, again we have to update the prefix. So whenever we do the skimming, what we need to do means in the rule set version prefix here, so we have to change this number to 0102. I have to change. Okay, so otherwise what happens means if you don't change this in the hierarchy, I'll be discussing what is rule set hierarchy in the next classes. See, rule set contains some hierarchy. Suppose if you don't change this prefix value here, it will automatically switch to the next version, next rule set, and next version whatever is there, it will read that one. Okay, suppose if again skimming is done, again it will read the in the next hierarchy what is the number is there or what are the rule set is there, it is going to read that one. So whenever we do the skimming for this main rule set, So whenever these numbers, what are the major or minor skimming completed, accordingly this prefix number must be modified or it should be updated. So for our requirement, according to the skimming number, it is starting, the prefix must be 0102, it must be. So the same thing we have to customize here in the rule set form. Okay, so update the prefix value from 01 to 02, 01012 to 0102 you have to update. Okay, it is mandatory. Now save it. Now if you again try to open any rule, so previously means it is directly showing the next rule set and next version it is showing, but now again try to open any rule. Now after updating, save this form. Now try to open any rule. Now if you try to open any rule, now it will show alpha auto 010201. Okay, so like that any skimming is completed. So we have to compulsory update the prefix value, we have to update. Suppose again if you do some major skimming 0202, you have to change again. For that again if you do the skimming, see skimming and all, on top of that again we may do multiple times, guys, no issue. Again I can do minor skimming, then it will become 0103. Again I can do minor skimming, again it will become 0104. Okay, then I can, when if I do major skimming, then 0203, like that. So whenever this skimming is done, so every time we need to keep on update the main prefix number we have to update. Okay, so that is about the skimming process. So don't worry, if you get a chance, you can create, but if you don't get a chance means don't worry, so you will not create this, but knowledge must be there how it should be done. So again, I told the packaging. So in the end of application, initial I told the packaging process, right? That you can do once you complete all the rules in the application. At the end of application, you can take a backup like a packaging if you do. So at that time, you can choose directly the latest rule set version, the skimmed version. At the time, whatever is there, only choose that one. Okay, no need to choose all the rule sets. That is, no need to choose all the versions directly at the time of packaging. We can choose, suppose if it, at the time 010201 is the latest version means that we have to choose. Okay, if you want again I will show it at the end of application before all the rules when completed. Again I will show you how to do the packaging. Okay, once again, already I showed in the starting classes, but again I'll show at the end of classes, I'll show you guys. Okay, so that is about the skimming process. Okay, so like that, so skimming and all, major or minor they can do based on the requirement. So whenever they do the skimming, compulsory they need to update the prefix value, they need to update. Okay, based on the number updated, if major is done accordingly or minor is done means accordingly they need to update the value here. Okay, so that is about the skimming. So once disconnect guys, I'll be connecting again.